I know.
Hello from Sheridan, Wyoming, Kill Your Ego podcast. As always, the message is pretty simple with this. The podcast is going to be sporadic. We're not going to do 2 or 3 podcasts. I keep saying it. We're not going to do 2 or 3 podcasts a week and make this a job and not fun and hustle and grind and all the other cool words that everybody always uses. This podcast is going to be sporadic, and we're going to do it when we feel like doing it and when I have something that I feel is important of substance to put out. We're sponsoring all this and paying for all this out of pocket. We're not here to make money on it. We're here to make a connection with people.
But what if somebody wanted to pay you?
We would definitely do that.
Okay.
But it has to be the right person. So back in the studio here on Main Street in Sheridan, Wyoming with me today is Seth and Sheryl, who were on the podcast, 2 months ago? How long has it been?
It's been a bit.
Seth is the owner and coach of Cloud Peak CrossFit, which is literally right behind Bison Union Coffee and Bison Union store here in Sheridan. Sheryl is a coach, a CrossFit coach, and also she and I kind of split lately. She's been roasting more coffee than me, but we're the 2 coffee roasters at Bison Union Coffee, and yeah, she has been roasting all of it lately. And Sheryl's also a full-time employee at Bison Union, and the beauty of what we do here is Sheryl's able to, leave roast coffee she starts at 6 in the morning. She does a 5 a.m. CrossFit class. She comes over at 6:30, starts roasting coffee, then goes back and she'll teach classes or coach classes, or she'll assist throughout the day. And that's the beauty of Sheridan, kind of has that feel. It's a small community, and we're able to do stuff like that. So
yeah, thank you.
Seth, also in the spirit of Sheridan, has a couple other ventures. If you can tell by the shirts we're wearing, it's become my favorite shirt. It says, "Don't California my Wyoming," which is very relevant with COVID and the current situation. There was already people moving out of the cities around the world and country and moving to rural places. So Sheridan's a great place. Wyoming's a great place. If you come here, don't bring your politics and bullshit with you.
Just don't come here.
Or just don't come here. It's full.
It's full. Go to Montana.
We're going to have fun with the podcast today because I haven't always been this way, but now I love more than ever for people to just hammer me, man. Like, they came on, Seth and Sheryl came on the podcast. I don't know the exact date. It was 2 months ago. Yeah. And the challenge came up. Brady McLean from Go Fast Don't Die. And I always say that. I shouldn't say that. Brady is Brady. But he's also the founder and owner of Go Fast Don't Die, which I know you guys, a lot of people know that brand. It's a great brand. One of my favorites. Lifestyle brands. Brady challenged me to do CrossFit for 90 days. We're at 60 days now. And I go to the 5 a.m. class here, which is earlier than I've ever worked out since I've been in the Army. It was a change. And for me, I'm going to let these guys give an honest assessment of me, and we're going to have some fun with this because I can't stress this enough. I think it's one of the greatest things I've ever done in my life. And leave the word CrossFit out of it. There's more to this gym, and there's more to this community. I'll get more into that later. But as of lately, my 5 a.m.s have been Seth and 1 or 2 other males, and the rest is females. And I have literally, and I'm going to use some colorful language here, been getting my fucking ass beat by a bunch of school teachers. And I say beat because it is a competition. It's a healthy competition. Your name goes, Seth writes your name on the board the minute the class is there. Before we start stretching, he writes your name on the board, and that is there all day long, every class that comes in and does it. And I think this is a tradition around the country with CrossFit gyms.
Yeah. Some gyms don't necessarily keep a score still. There was some changes a few years back where a lot of gyms just, you come in and do the workout, or I shouldn't say a lot, but I'd say it's a 50-50 split whether there's a score. I personally like the score because it's not to see who the big dog in the gym is. It's, if I'm competitive, I'm going to work harder, and I'll get more out of the workout.
And that's it for me, and make no mistake about it, I'm only competing against myself right now 95%. The other 5 is Sheryl. No, but for real, the other 5 is probably Sheryl. But for me, it helps me to look at the board, and I'll walk over there throughout the day because I park my truck 50 feet away, and I can just peek in there and see. It's really awesome because, again, the board is there. I'm competing against myself. Make no mistake about it. I suck at CrossFit, by the way. I'm getting better. As Seth always says,
fine.
he said it yesterday. He
I
said,
still suck.
work in progress. And that board, to be able to watch people, some people have great days, some people have not so great days, but that board keeps you honest, and it holds you accountable. And it's fun to see other people at the grocery store at Albertsons, see, again, a school teacher, from across the that works their ass off, or anybody in town, whatever, somebody works at dental, you see somebody at Albertsons and they're like, I beat your score today. but in a fun manner. It's not like I'm better than you, you suck, because tomorrow it might go to a totally different movement, and you might not be good at that movement the next day. But I want to get an honest assessment of you. Seth, you asked a question. I'm going to have you ask it again. You asked a question right before we went on live.
Okay, so I want to know what if you could be any animal other than a bison, what would it be?
Obviously, bison is my numero uno, but
Koala?
I was going to say a chinchilla.
Chinchilla.
No, I was going to say a chinchilla or a wombat, but I think
Wombat just sounds cool.
I think a raccoon. I think that's my spirit animal.
A raccoon.
Yeah.
They wash their food
They like to eat trash.
and eat
They're
trash.
creepy. They're real creepy with their
Wow.
little hands.
This is going completely opposite.
What-
Of
What would you
no,
be?
I'd say a bear. I'm going to go with a black bear, not a brown bear.
Because they're nicer.
They're just smaller, more.
You have
they're just
more
different.
interaction with
Yeah.
those too.
They're just. I don't know. Brown bear is a brown bear. Grizzlies are grizzly. I'm not at grizzly status. I don't know if I ever will be. I'm like, for me, a brown bear, or a black bear.
I think that's good, but with a bear, you got to worry about that ginormous shit after hibernation. I mean, you got a plug coming out.
Yeah, you do.
So that's a fear of mine.
We
if
were
I was a
walking in the
bear.
woods yesterday, right up in Story, and there's some healthy, brand new bear scat. I posted a story about it on my Instagram. It's awesome to see. Bears are rocking and rolling
They're
here
cool.
right now.
Okay.
What would you be?
Yeah.
You've obviously thought about this if you're asking the question.
I think I would go with some type of big cat.
Yeah?
Whether it was a lion,
Big kitty.
a big kitty.
I picture
Not-
that video.
Which one?
The one recently where the guy's walking down the
where it's
the
chasing
runner.
him.
Yeah. That's good. Video's great.
Yeah. Michelle, my wife jumped back like 3 feet when it.
Oh, we watched it, and
Lunch.
we watched it I watched it probably 5 times,
Yeah.
and it is, again, when you talk about cats in a video like that, it's relative. And a comedian did a skit about it. I don't remember who it was, but it's like, have you ever been attacked by like a 6-pound house cat?
Yeah.
Like, it's no joke.
Yeah. Can you
Add
imagine
130
Yeah.
pounds onto that. Yeah, no thanks.
Right.
Or, I did a stint as a zookeeper,
Really?
not an actual
Right?
professional zookeeper, but a vet tech / zookeeper.
That's cool.
And I got the opportunity to work with some tigers and lions and
awesome.
some bigger animals, and it is no joke with a
And the gorilla.
350-pound.
I see
tiger.
the videos where they raise them from cubs.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Man, that to me would be like a dream job if you could live on a ranch and have a bear or a big cat or something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
pretty neat.
Where it's your job basically to take care of it and play with it.
Yeah, we've actually talked several times with Bison Union. I've talked to the couple out of Utah. They're in Heber Valley up behind Park City that had Bart the bear, the original bear from Great Outdoors, and 100 other movies. And Bison Union's not in a position to afford. A couple days of shooting with one of those bears is, bringing him here because they have to put him in a horse trailer. Or they've got a specialized trailer. They bring him here. You're paying time. You're paying everything. It ends up being about $25,000 to $50,000 for 2 days of shooting with a bear. We're not there yet. No, that's Super Bowl
We can just go
commercial.
up in the mountain and do it.
Yeah, exactly.
See what happens.
But yeah, they're monsters.
Cheryl?
I was thinking a bear at first, and then he said it, so now I can't say
Can't
it,
use
but
Mama bear,
I'm already that. But maybe a badger.
Oh,
honey badger.
Yeah. Get,
Yeah,
Real
you are
scrappy.
kind of badgery.
I could see that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Not sure how to take that one.
Take it exactly how you're taking
In
it.
her attitude, right?
Yeah.
That's what you meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good it's just a good segue. this morning's a perfect example. This morning was a rough workout for me in the sense that when I came in, the workout this morning,
you started kipping today.
I did.
Wait.
Yeah, subconsciously.
So,
Because I try and be a tough guy and do strict pull-ups. I was one of those guys. Well, Kippens,
You and your CrossFit people and your
Kippens-
stupid Kippen stuff.
well, now it's a different game for me because I'm not walking up to a pull-up bar for a PT test or something,
Right.
or just trying to knock out 100 pull-ups as fast as I can.
Right.
Now it's a different game. To this morning, started off with a 750-meter row, and then it went into 5 rounds of eight pull-ups, or no, it was eight pull-ups or 6 muscle-ups,
4 muscle-ups.
4 muscle-ups, and then
8 thrusters.
8 thrusters, and the weight I had was 95 pounds.
This is RX weight.
It killed me. Like, it again, today was another day. I didn't puke. I almost shit my pants though. Like, I literally was just like that last
happens.
round. I'm like, I'm gonna poop. But this wasn't like hey, I ate bad food, I'm gonna poop, or I ate too much food before coming here. That was a chemical load of the exact same as puking, but my body, like when you get nervous, that was a nervous doo-doo.
Went the
Like
other
I was,
way.
yeah,
Oh, I'm all
I
about
overexerted myself, and that was a nervous doo-doo. Normally those happen before I work out or do a PT test.
Yeah.
This one was at the end, and I was smoked.
Yeah.
I was smoked.
And
So
and I beat you. You've been saying that all day.
you didn't just beat me.
I just want to say that for the viewers and then everybody
Should
else.
take your
listening.
soul.
She didn't just beat me. My time was 10:50, I think.
You did
and
fine.
You did.
Your time was 8:08.
8:10.
8:10. But this is fun. This is what I'm talking about because, tomorrow I might do something, even though I'm new at this. Cheryl's been doing it for 7 years. I might do something that I'm better at. But
That's where it hooks you, because CrossFit's got
it is. It's good.
so many different aspects. Like, we'll have workouts where, some of those smaller, more gymnastic style people will just crush.
Right.
And then the next
Not
day
me.
we lift heavy weight or heavier weight relative to everybody, but we'll do more lifting. And then someone else that maybe is just stronger but doesn't have the cardio, they'll kick ass on that workout. And then it always gives you too, like with CrossFit, I always say there's so much to work on to be a well-rounded CrossFit athlete. So if, like, I go through phases where I'm like, okay, I'm going to do lots more cardio, and I'll drop down to 198, 200 pounds, and then you get bored with it. So then you focus more on strength or technique with snatch or cleans or clean and jerks, and then all of a sudden your gymnastic skills and body weight stuff starts to fail. So to be a well-rounded CrossFit athlete, it's just consistency every day showing up at the gym.
Yeah, which
And-
I'm trying. I think I've missed a couple days because I was traveling, but
It happens.
I'm religious about it now. And sometimes with work or whatever, I can't be there at the 5 a.m. class. I will make it that day. That's my promise to you guys. And
Yeah.
this is going to go well beyond 90 days. I'm hooked.
Good.
Because you're signing up for the open.
Yeah.
Yeah, Derek. Man, we were talking, like, some other friends of mine that are big CrossFitters and have been doing this a long time. Said they would sign me up even if I didn't sign up and force me to do it. I'm excited about it, but last show we went into some topics that were a little more emotional and psychological. This one I want to be fun and positive, but I will say this, like, the dynamic of walking into that gym in the morning, man, it is. I'm the guy that did a 2-hour workout, headphones on, bench, squat, deadlift a little bit, arm day, back day, shoulder day, whatever. This has opened up my eye to a whole nother emotional world, in a sense that you don't have headphones in. There's music playing. It is group stretching. It feels good to be part of a group.
Mm-hmm.
It
People
feels
yelling
good.
at you.
This morning I heard it, and even you, I heard it, and it wasn't just you. People that I've only talked to 1 or 2 times are yelling at me from across the gym because I stopped and put my hands on my knees and bent over, and they could see that I had more gas, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
They're watching me already going, man, you've been here for 2 months, but you shouldn't be drinking water right now, or you shouldn't be bent. Go. You're on the clock, man.
Right.
The clock's going. You're not going to die.
You can die when
Right.
you're done.
You're not going to die, and that's what, man, you can't. I've been in this zone of 10 years of working out at a gym with headphones in, listening to Metallica as loud as I can, which is good some days.
Yeah,
I'll still do that on
absolutely.
Wednesday and Saturday or Sunday when I'm not at a class with you guys. But this is phenomenal to me, and obviously with the current situation, the class sizes have gone down a tiny bit because people are either getting exposed to COVID and have to quarantine, or they have just this. It's hitting everybody in the country.
Yeah.
But again, my class a few days last week was 6 women, me, it's just a different dynamic for me. I'm used to special forces guys in a gym or in a gym by myself with a bunch of meatheads and, but this is just different, man. It's super powerful for me, and I don't want to sound like Tony Robbins, but it's I literally, my drive in, I'm super excited.
Right.
Except when I drive by the window and I see Cheryl on a bike there a half hour later.
You do see me flip you off every morning.
I saw it this morning. But this that dynamic, and I'm quiet. I talk a little bit now, but I listen during. I don't say anything during stretching that 20 minutes, but just listening to the conversations, they're so positive. And I think the class that I'm in now in the morning, 4 of those women are school teachers.
Yeah, something like that.
Erica, Melissa,
a couple
Mandy,
nurses.
Kaylee.
There's 4 for sure.
But it's just
Melissa Condo.
Condos, yeah.
But it's just remarkable to me. It's just different because every conversation, even if it's a conversation that's a little aggressive about school or
COVID.
whatever, COVID,
Mask mandates.
The overall theme every day there with every conversation is either humor, busting each other's balls and lady balls, or it's passionate about helping other people, whether it's students, whether it's another kid on a football team. Both your sons were in there this morning and they fucking killed the workout.
Chance puked.
But I see,
Did he?
Yeah, he did. He puked. He walked right by after. I could smell the puke in the air.
Yeah.
Like your 2 kids, like
I was thinking we should have had them on.
we should have. Next time we need to bring them on because
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
And we just did a podcast earlier with Cody Quarterman, who's teaching, I think, your other son boxing. But I didn't even get your name out, and he said how respectful and kind and nice your son was.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Chance's, your other son, Chance, who was there this morning, same way. And I'm starting to realize this is, it's parenting, but it's also being exposed to this.
Yeah.
Like those guys were in the gym at 6 o'clock this morning. They're high school kids. They play 8 different sports, and they're still coming to the gym. And you can see it. Some days they're like, man, I want to be sleeping in right now, but they still put it in. And they come in.
Chance's class has been their sophomore class this year. They've been with me for some of them
5, 6, 7.
Yeah, 5, 6, 7 years. Chance used to come to the gym and work out with me at 8 o'clock when we were in the old gym, so it would have been like 8 years ago, and he's just a little guy doing what he could.
So 8 years old.
Yeah, 8 years old.
Yeah, it's cool, and it shows. Like, it shows. And I went to high school with kids like that started working out early, and people were like, oh, it's too young. Man, most of those guys are still in the same shape just because it's ingrained in their body and their brain.
Healthy habits.
To even when they're having a bad time in life or they're hard to turn towards fitness. And I don't want to make this a total mental health, but that's where I'm at right now. Like, this has become my medicine. Good. I'm taking no supplements. I'm taking no protein, nothing across the board.
No pre-workout?
Nothing. I don't.
Gotta get him on some
I don't take anything. If anything, and I'm not trying to plug coffee, but I'll have a little bit of coffee, but nothing. And I'm under 190 pounds for the first time in 10 years. I feel tighter. In a weird, does that make sense? Like, I just feel healthier.
Good.
I'm sore as fuck all the time, and not a bad sore, like a broken sore. I just feel like I've had a good workout every day, no matter what. Like, I go to shampoo my head, and I would say wash my hair, but I don't have much hair. I go to soap my head, and my arms hurt. But in a good hurt. Not like I've done too much.
Yeah.
But I've put in some work.
Right.
So the humor portion of this show. 60 days, fire away. I want my report card. I'm in the principal's office right now. It's parent-teacher time right
conferences.
now. Yeah, hammer me on everything.
Well, you have an advantage.
My attitude.
You have an advantage to a lot of people that come into CrossFit, and I'll always say this is if you have a base of strength, which you do, that takes the longest to build. Your cardio will come. So I'd say
and go.
What's that?
Come and go.
Come and go. Yeah, it goes away pretty easily. But I would say having the base of strength is a huge advantage when you first started. So, you can grab a barbell and think, 95 pounds, that's not that bad. But then we'd back you off a little bit, like, 75 might be good, whether we were snatching or whatever it may be in a Metcon, metabolic conditioning. But I would say coming in with that helped you a ton. But then that learning curve, that first couple weeks, I'd say, of how fast should I go at the start?
Ooh.
How should I just go balls out right away? And that's and we let people do it to a certain point. Like if it's a cardio workout without weight and a barbell, if it's something that's no technique really, we'll let you push yourself. But if it's something that's got some technique to it, we'll always kind of throttle people back. Like, hey, you don't need to rush the lift. You don't need to move the barbell. And I think you've been super coachable on that for sure. And you're always asking questions
I will
and what
always
you
ask
can do.
I never, like, you know, getting defensive when somebody's trying to help you improve your life, like I kill your ego.
Yeah.
Like, perfect example. And I've been around people that in the gym, man, you can't critique them on anything.
Right.
Or you'll tell them something, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can watch from the side going, you are going to hurt yourself. Like,
Right.
you're trying to deadlift 475 pounds and your back is complete. You are going to hurt yourself, and they don't care.
Yeah.
This, again, there's people that have been doing this for 7 years, 8 years at your gym that you guys still correct, and they immediately go over and practice.
He corrected me today.
Man, it's so great.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's easy when you're tired with CrossFit, especially your technique can fail.
Yeah.
So building those good habits and constantly reminding people of those cues gets people in the right mindset of, oh yeah, I just forgot to drive my knees out on that squat, or my chest came forward, or whatever it may be. Now, obviously we don't want that to happen all the time, but there's a learning curve to it.
right.
Now, with all the positive we said about you,
Yeah, fire away. No, seriously.
no, you did really well. The cardio kicked your ass because obviously you haven't done
kicks my
that
ass.
style of cardio for a long time.
No, and it kicks my ass every day. And even one step further than that, you know, there's nothing. I don't care if you're the toughest guy in the entire Army in special operations. I don't care who you are. When you have to take a PT test with other people watching you that's graded, I don't care who you are. You're going to be running to a John or a porta potty on the PT field to take a poop. You've been there.
Yep.
You've taken PT tests that are graded that go on your record. And I've never seen a guy that was just totally cool. Everybody gets a little bit of a juice of adrenaline, fear, anxiety. I get that every morning, to the point, like this morning, it's a perfect example. I thought when you wrote it on the board that you had to do, we started with a 750 meter row, but then the other exercises there was 5 rounds of those other things we talked about. I thought that we had to do 750 meter row
Every round.
Oh,
I
yeah,
would've let
you
ya.
came over to me and walked
Man,
past.
I can't tell you. I got to about 500 meters and I felt really good. I was keeping up with everybody in the class, and then my brain just goes, "Holy shit! I'm never going to be able to do this in five times in the amount of time of this class. I know this class is going to be a half hour."
Right.
I was just sitting there in it, but the anxiety. That was good anxiety came over me, like, how am I going to do this? And then I started wargaming it. But then I asked you, I'm like, you corrected me. You were like, hey, no, you don't.
Just do 5 rounds.
Man,
2 movements.
I felt like Rocky at the top of the steps in Philadelphia. Like, I was like, I got this now. But that anxiety plays games with my head, and I have to figure that out. And you guys don't.
Which is healthy.
It is, but you guys don't have it. Mandy doesn't
We
have
do.
it. Jordan.
We
and
do
these,
have
these
it.
people I'm talking about are they call them Clydesdales at the gym.
Thoroughbreds?
Thoroughbreds. Clydesdales.
I was like, what?
Sorry. They're not big horses. They're thoroughbreds. They're well. So
And the 5 a.m. class is full of
Thoroughbreds.
very athletic people.
they
So
are.
it's probably one of the most competitive classes of the day.
Well, and I don't see that, but Sheryl caught me, and I'm going to call myself out.
I was
on
going
it.
to call you out too.
No,
Don't you
I'm
worry.
going to call myself out on it. That anxiety, man, I don't cheat at my workouts. I just don't. I will do every rep when I'm doing a lift. My trainer up until now sends me my workouts every week. I don't miss a rep. But in my head, my counting, like, I just had so much anxiety, and I swore that I was doing all my reps on sit-ups, and sit-ups are easy for me. And I wasn't. And Sheryl counted me and called me out on it, and I'm glad she did. And then
Then we argued later because he tried to call
I'm
me
like,
out for
"Fuck,
being
man."
a jerk.
I'm like, no, I was joking.
Right.
And but
You got to
just-
be out of your mind.
Cheryl
It's
texted
just
me
great.
right away.
It's
too.
just great.
She was like, Bert said he could do 20 sit-ups in 17 seconds.
17
and I went,
seconds.
Actually, I sent like the laughing face emoji, like 20 of them, and
Yeah.
then 17 seconds, and then 20 more laughing face emojis. And
Yeah, and that's so.
And he was
an
serious.
but an
seriously thought
so-
he'd had that.
because an Army PT test for Special Forces is the same for any infantry.
right.
It's 2 minutes of push-ups, 2 minutes of sit-ups, 2 minutes or a 2 mile run. It's changed since then. I'm dating myself.
Yeah.
but I consistently did on my PT test 120 push-ups and 120 sit-ups in 2 minutes. But that first minute I would do 80 and then gas. But you have to keep doing movement.
Who was counting for you though?
You've got a cadre standing right above you, and trust me, they do not.
What'd you do the running?
My run time, I think the fastest I ever did my run time, I would get down around 11 minutes.
11.
The slow, if I was slow, I'd be 13, 14 minutes.
That was an easy 100 points then.
It is.
For your age, because you were older for.
I was in the best when I was really on it, going at it and going to schools where we had to take a PT test. I was in the best bracket. It was like the 35 to or 30 to 31 or 32, whatever, to 40, 39. That's the best point bracket to be in because you get the most leeway.
Right.
But in special forces, most of the guys that are in the best shape are in their 30s.
Right.
And there's younger guys that are in real good shape. But for me, that game of adrenaline, man, it plays games with me. And now, like this morning, I know I did 10 or 8 pull-ups, kipping pull-ups, but I came down and I had to second guess myself, and it was like, hey, now I've got this picture in my head. Every motherfucker in this gym is watching me. So I did 2 more.
Yeah.
And
we do that too.
And I've watched other people do it. I counted Matt. And I wasn't counting Matt to watch Matt, but Matt did 1 extra rep this morning, and he was doing ring muscle-ups. And he did 1 extra rep because he came down, he was gassed at that point a little bit, and he did 1 extra rep. And he did the same thing.
Yeah. He said he was cussing himself out.
He was, and he was in the corner cussing himself out because he's one of the strongest guys in the gym. But it was just fun to watch, and it's fun. This dynamic, I keep talking about it. This dynamic of having a group of people that support each other.
And those nerves are good, like especially when I have those younger kids, like my son and Alex. They're kind of over the nerves, I think, of the workouts.
Unless
but
it's the open.
Yeah, unless it's the open. Chance gets pretty nervous. But with that, it's like, these kids walk in and they're nervous for, oh gosh, I got to do 80 pull-ups in this workout. Oh my gosh. And you can just see the fear. My hands are going to tear and blah, 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 blah. And it's good for people, not just kids, but also adults to deal with that anxiety.
Right.
Because I think we get in a habit in life just becoming too comfortable where it's like, I know how to do this and this is what I'm going to stick with. And then you never try something new. You never, with hunting or whatever, you might not, I don't want to drop into that canyon when you should just say, fuck it. I'll figure it out when I'm going.
I'm going.
So that uncomfortable life is good for you. It's good
great.
for people.
It's healthy.
Yeah. People that get too comfortable, I feel like, they're missing out on a little part of, they're missing out on a part of life. I don't even know how to explain it.
Of living.
You truly don't know who you are. Like I'll always say when we do a workout where if it's could be an 18-minute workout and I'll bump it up to 24 in an EMOM, you learn something about yourself in those last 6 minutes. That's the point where that's where, it's going to hurt and it's coming. And it's like, you know what, I got to put my head down and go, and I'm going to suffer through this, but in 10 minutes after this, I'll be fine. People get too comfortable with life, and that sucks. I think if you go every day and it's just like, I go to work, I'm comfortable with my job, I'm comfortable with the people I deal with, I go and I'm comfortable eating Wendy's every day for lunch. I could be, but then you go home and you sit on the couch because you don't want to have a hard life.
Right.
It's 20 minutes out of your day to just suffer a little bit, and I guarantee you'll feel better when you're done.
Oh man.
You
awesome.
have a mental boost by suffering a little bit. So there's one quote that I put it on a shirt, and it said, when you learn how to suffer, you suffer much less.
Oh, I didn't think you were going. I thought you were going with a comfortable life is a slow death.
Yeah, that's another one. A comfortable life is a slow death.
I love that.
Right?
Yeah. Tyler has that, I think, or something similar to it, hanging up in his garage.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I saw
put
it
that on the kid's shirt, wasn't it?
Yeah, I put it on a
Comfortable
kid's shirt.
life is a slow death.
Comfortable life is a slow death.
I love it.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Exactly.
We say that a lot.
Yeah, and
too.
there's a balance there. I come from a community, and it's not so much the guys in a community, but there was this, and you guys saw it because I guarantee it was in the CrossFit community as well. But there for a while, that was like this pain is growth, and pain. At some point, pain is not good for you.
Right.
It's counterproductive in that
Absolutely.
mentality that if you push it to somebody like me, if I came in going pain is awesome, I would be saying, you know what, I'm going to do 95 and I'm going to be over here in a corner.
We won't let you.
I know you guys won't let me, but I think there's people out there that do that.
Right.
And your form goes to shit. And, somebody posted on I posted a very, what would you give the grade of that lift that you took you were coaching me. That was at the end of doing the entire workout. I was gassed.
On a 1 to 10 for a power snatch?
Let's do grades. A to B.
I'd give you probably a B minus.
See,
But
that-
nobody's
that's-
getting an A+.
That's way better than I would have given myself. But I had a bunch of people that own pretty big CrossFit gyms around the country comment and say, man, super positive. Half the people that commented are avid CrossFitters for years, or they own gyms and they're excited because I busted CrossFit's balls for so long. Because that's what you do when you're insecure and you're not good at something.
Yeah. Or you just don't know what it is.
Yeah, ignorance is bliss. You know what I mean? But the positive comments, and then somebody said that's too heavy weight for the form you're doing. It was the only comment that was just kind of like, man, it's a
there's a lot of purists out there with Oli lifting too.
There is, and that's what it was.
It's got to be
like,
perfect every
I even
time.
said in the post, this is the second time I've ever done this, and I will not hurt myself.
And we worked up to that weight. It's not like you started
Right.
with
No,
that weight.
no.
So you were plenty warm.
Yeah, but that energy and doing those lifts. I forgot the train of thought that we were just talking about.
Squirrel.
Yeah,
But-
I forgot to.
But coming there and doing those lifts and the positivity behind it, man, it's absolutely incredible to me. And I'm gonna let you guys keep talking about
Your progress.
my progress because we got sidetracked.
What was
there.
we had the sprint workout with rest is needed. The only one you didn't finish.
So the only one I didn't finish.
I
wow,
remember that.
hurts.
So what were
I
the
didn't
movement?
I-
There was a
I
rope
did
climb.
Not just finish it.
There was a bike.
There
sit
was-
up. Oh,
you biked and then you did
Atomic
atomic
sit-up.
sit-ups, which the community that I come from, the atomic sit-up is totally different.
Yeah.
we know that
Uh,
now. We're
do
gonna
you know
have to
what
change the name.
atomic sit-up is? Because a lot of people don't.
We have
So
to
an
change
atomic
it.
sit-up, you guys need to change the name. An atomic sit-up in the military is you have a couple people put a towel on your forehead and you try and do pull-ups or sit-ups while somebody holds a towel. Well, the first 2 or 3 guys that go, or girls,
Yeah,
that
then they let
go,
go of it.
they are able to do it. You let them do it, but it looks really hard. And then you have somebody come down, and when they go to do it, you have them, the towel is kind of over your eyes.
I
And
see where
somebody
this is
pulls their
going.
Yeah.
pants down
Yeah.
and puts their butt right there.
And-
So when you let go of the towel, their nose goes right in somebody's,
How many times did you fall for that?
Never, not once. But
I
that's
call bullshit.
so that workout was, you started on a bike. I think it was a couple minutes or
15 calories.
15 calories a bike, and then you did atomic sit-ups, and then you had to do 2 rope climbs consecutively each round.
Okay.
Wall balls.
Yeah, I didn't say there was one other
Yeah,
movement.
there was wall balls,
Yeah.
and then you had to do some wall balls, and I
It
had
was
a
like
20
15
pound
wall balls too.
Yep, it was
Yeah.
20 pound
15
wall
and
ball.
18 calorie, right?
And I got to be honest
Oh,
with
yeah.
you, I was
Men did
smoked.
18.
I was smoked the first round.
So it's sprint through as fast as you can, and you take as much rest as you need.
Yep.
Usually it takes like, what, 2 to 3 minutes?
Yeah, we try and keep it around 2 or 3. But then you rest as needed, but you have to finish X amount of rounds in 30 minutes. And you did 3, right? And we
2.
cut your
Oh, I did 2 3/4.
2 and 3/4.
And here's the problem for me. Again, ego. Climbing a rope in special operations is more of a safety thing. You have body armor on. Typically, you have a
Right.
weapon. That's what you lead up to. You obviously start in PT with
Right.
nothing. My rope climbing technique, I wrap the rope around my leg. It's different. There's guys that were always better than me, and there's some guys that were worse than me. For this situation, in a gym, moving
Not
fast
efficient.
with it just wasn't efficient.
Right.
And that gassed my upper body, which is probably pound for pound. My upper body's stronger than everything else. But that gassed me. And after 2.5 rounds, that's the first time ever in a workout that I puked. And that's the first time ever that the world closed in on me in that sense of when your vision just starts to get, we've all been there,
Right.
passing
Absolutely.
out. And you guys immediately, and I went in the bathroom, I puked, I came back out, and I was going to try and finish the workout. One, I don't think I would have been able to finish the
don't
workout,
either.
but you
Not
guys
safely.
immediately grabbed me
Yeah.
and said, check it out. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
That doesn't,
We scaled you down a little bit in that half round or something.
I still
Yeah.
didn't finish
Yeah.
though. I didn't even finish the scale down. I was
Yeah, and
I
you
was
can
done.
be the strongest guy in the world, and if you don't have oxygen, you're not going to do what you want to do.
Nope, and the
You know,
two
it
people
just
in my
affects you
group
that much.
were, I think Falk, if I had to guess, is
He was over there. I remember.
5'11" and 180 pounds lean.
Yeah.
Like very lean. He's
Yeah.
fit.
He's a runner.
And then is it Cassandra?
Cassandra.
Mhm.
And
Another
I'm
trainer.
not going to guess a woman's weight high.
Good call.
I'm guessing, but she's very fit.
Yeah.
Very fit. Smoked my ass, and I was in the group with those two, and I wasn't trying to compete with them because they've been there a long time, but subconsciously,
Yeah.
I was trying to
Definitely.
keep up with them. And man, she smoked my ass.
Yeah.
Like, killed me. Wasn't even close. First round out the gate, I never caught her. She was finished while I was puking.
Yeah.
But that's
That's
the one.
fine.
That's the one workout that's one of 3 workouts that's really rung my bell.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that one was rough because you go, I think it was 18 calories for men.
It was down and then back
you
up.
go all out on that eco bike, the Rogue eco bike, and then you got to try and move. And that's one of those workouts where it wasn't technical other than the rope climb can be, but you'll blow
just
yourself up on the bike and then it's over after that, just trying to complete that other work. So
From that first bike on, I was
you were pretty
I
much,
was
you could
behind
see it
the
on your
curve.
face
I was.
too.
And that class was crowded. I think you had 16
Yeah,
people,
that was a
17
busy
people.
one.
It was a pretty big class for that
That
space.
was a noon class, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was, again, talk about killing your ego and humbling. Like it was, but I keep saying it. Here's the beauty. Here's the beauty. Every single person that was in that class, even people I'd never talked to before, made a gesture from across the room or whatever, or stopped by or fist bumped me or said,
Yeah.
good job.
Yep.
Like, good job. It happens to the best of us.
Everybody's been there.
Everybody's been there.
Mhm.
Literally.
Yeah.
And that wasn't something you guys tell people to do. That's just
Mm-hmm.
CrossFit to me right now.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's not every CrossFit gym. I've been to some, dropped in at some other gyms, and you can tell that some gyms don't have the same community.
Not a
and
family.
It's just not the same feel. But then other gyms you could walk in and be like, oh, I could work out here if I
Right,
lived in this
right.
town. But that's like anything. There's good CrossFit gyms. There's bad CrossFit gyms. There's Pizza Huts that are really nice, and there's some that a little sketchy.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing. So it just depends on the people that you have inside the walls. So,
Yeah, now in 2 months, and again, I'll be there for a long time if you guys will have me. Like I
Think about it.
We're still
I'm
on the fence.
I'm on
Yeah.
probation. Now I'm watching people come in for the first time or the second
right.
time.
You're on the other end of it now.
Yeah, it's great in a good way. Like it's good to watch people that, again, everybody comes in there, they're pretty confident in themselves, their ability, and it's humbling.
Yeah, very much.
It's very humbling.
We got a
and
guy
it-
that comes at night, and he played some college ball, and
Who?
Scott.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been and he just wants to go as hard as he can. He wants to get over the soreness and whatnot. And he's just now, I'd say, in the last couple weeks, probably figuring out
Before COVID.
before COVID got me
And him.
and him. Oh yeah, he had it too,
Yeah,
didn't
he
he?
just came back this week.
And he's starting to be okay with if one of the trainers, guy, girl, whatever, says, hey, I know RX weight is 135, but maybe 95 would be a better idea. He's all about it now. So he's starting to figure that out, where before it was like, oh, I want to go heavy, I want to do this. And then the whole workout would get messed up because his intensity would go to shit because it was too heavy.
Yeah.
And you're all of a sudden, when we have a workout, if it takes Matt and Tyler and myself, if it takes us 8 minutes, the average in the gym is probably going to be 10,
12.
12. And then what I don't want is I don't want an 18 or a 19.
Right.
So we'll put a time cap sometimes.
Yeah,
too.
we'll put a time cap, and then you'll just get a score for reps completed. But if someone gets into that 18, that's a completely different workout than what the general population did at the 12 minutes. So we really try to keep people in that range, and that might even be me walking up to you and saying, hey, I know it's 8 reps. Let's go to 6. And
Tyler did that with snatch yesterday because, again, it's the second time I've ever done it. I brought out weight and I said, what should I do? And Tyler very politely and nicely said, dude, just use the bar for
Yeah.
45 pounds. Just use the bar for the first few sets if you have to, and then go to 10. Just don't drop them. You don't want to break. But it was in such a professional, and
He's good with that.
Yeah.
it was just great.
Tyler's
You know
a
what I
good
mean? Like,
coach.
I think some guys, even me at a point in my life, would have been like, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Like, in my head going, this guy, like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to use the bar.
Yep.
And he came over and he's like, you need to really bump it up now. It's time to go up.
Well, Zach Foytek, he went and he started with 75 pounds, which is easy for him, and he finished that workout at 185. He's one of the better snatchers
Yep.
other than Wasim in the gym probably. So, well, Tyler's pretty good at squat snatch, but you got to keep that in perspective. If you're going to go to 115 pounds for the last 20 seconds or 20 second, 5 minute thing, then you could start with the bar and it is totally acceptable.
Right,
You
right.
know,
Yeah.
if anybody wants to start with a bar, it's totally acceptable. So I think
And I was
that's
watching
tough to swallow sometimes.
You had told me to watch a few people, like Josh Bridges and some other people.
Mhm.
You didn't say watch him, but you mentioned his grip on the
Right.
bar. So I went and got into a rabbit hole of watching the CrossFit Games and watching snatch at
Nice.
the CrossFit Games. 2 lifts, 2 attempts at whatever weight you pick the starting weight,
Mhm.
and
You had a minute
some
to
guys
do
were
it or
at
whatever.
175 pounds, and then other guys started at their second lift was 277 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's just, then I went down a rabbit hole of watching some Olympic lifters and stuff, which their mobility and their range of motion is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, you're talking
Well, you've got
decades of.
You've got 20 years of bench press that's pulled your shoulders
oh
forward.
yeah, and
you
I'm
don't have that
meathead
mobility
fire
yet.
hydrant, but it's just fun to watch. For people that are listening to this, because I've had a lot of people message me behind the scenes after that one. I've only made 2 posts about actually working out because I don't want this to turn into, look at me, I'm awesome. I'd rather do the opposite. And I've had a lot of people message me, what's the message for somebody that's never, we did this on the last podcast, what's the message for somebody who has worked out traditionally, bench, squat, deadlift, gym rat, or somebody who's never, ever, ever been in a CrossFit gym? What's your message for them? It's intimidating. Even coming to your gym, I've seen everybody in there in the coffee shop around town. That first couple weeks it's intimidating.
Yeah.
In a
absolutely.
sense of, it's just intimidating to walk in and everybody's laughing and joking and they've known each other. You're a family.
Mhm.
And it's like being adopted or being a foster kid and coming in to dinners for the first 2 weeks
Right.
at the table.
I guess my message for someone that I think there's a lot of people out there that they have a preconceived notion of what CrossFit is. So, one, just come and check it out.
And the preconceived notion has been driven by people that don't do CrossFit.
Right.
Which to me, now I've changed my whole dynamic about that. It's people like me that used to run my mouth, oh, fuck, I'm not doing CrossFit.
Right.
Like, I don't want to be the best at exercising. That's dumb. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I think the narrative
that.
has been written by people who don't do CrossFit. And now looking back on it, all of us that busted CrossFit's balls, 90% of those guys I can think of would be awesome at it and they would absolutely love it.
Yeah.
They really would love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like you said, we're mostly female
Yeah.
in the gym, and it's because they don't have the ego. I mean,
No.
we have Tyler and Matt and myself. Tyler's 38. Matt and I are both 43, and we're not getting any younger. I'd love to have some young guys with a strength base come in and just blow up the gym and set new standards of what we can do.
Right.
Which sometimes those guys come in and sometimes they really thrive, but it's just not their thing or whatever. But we just don't have that 18 to
Not yet.
30-year-old age group until Chance and Alex and them get done with college.
Which
and
watching
everything.
those guys this morning was great. I mean,
Yeah.
again, high school kids working out at 5 and 6 in the morning, you can't.
They're pretty committed.
Your day, if you're
They're
starting your
forced.
day as a high school kid that way, there's a pretty good chance the rest of your day is going to be
Yeah.
pretty motivated and you're not going to be smoking crack and
I need Peyton to hear
meth
that.
and drinking and being an idiot and out doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
You're
Well, they
just
still
not.
do stupid shit, but
But in a
it's pretty
different
good-hearted.
sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
if your day starts like that as a high school kid, I really, really, really wish I would have worked out in high school. I didn't
Yeah.
work out until I was in the Army, and at that
Yeah.
point I was 30 years old.
I wish I would have worked out right in high school.
Yes.
I was we worked out, but I avoided squats like the plague. And, you know, I think part of it was we just didn't have coaches with the knowledge. Good guys got us in the weight room and did whatever. We did the bigger, faster, stronger, you know, deadlifts and power cleans. But I remember watching some guys do power clean, not knowing what I was supposed to do and knowing it looked incorrect.
Right.
Like, oh, Jesus, that looks terrible. But also with the people that are sedentary, never done anything. I had, after the last podcast, really good guy, got a hold of me, messaged me a lot, and he's overweight, hasn't worked out, sedentary lifestyle, unhealthy lifestyle. And he came to one class. And the guy worked his butt off.
I think he came to a couple.
Did he? Did
Yeah.
you coach him too?
Yeah.
Okay, so he came to 2, 3
Maybe 3.
classes, and then he messaged me and said, I think I need to get in shape before I go to CrossFit.
That makes me crazy.
And
gonna
I
lead into
scaled
that.
him down when I had him, and he worked hard, and he was sore, but there's that uncomfortable life. Sometimes it's just soreness. There's a difference between my legs are sore and I'm hurt. And not that he said he was hurt, but I really hope he does come back, because I told him he was sitting on the bike. I didn't have him do the cash out one day with squats because his legs were blown up. And I think it was an air squat workout we did that day. And I said, just go ride the bike really slow. Let's get that lactic acid out. And maybe tomorrow won't be so bad. I think it was a Friday, actually. And I told him, I said, come in the morning and just ride the bike. You got to move tomorrow, no matter how sore you are. And I go, in 3 to 6 months, if you're still coming, your life is going to be completely different. And he still hasn't come back. And I had high hopes for it too. So hopefully, you know who you are. If you're listening to this podcast,
Come back.
get your
I hope
ass
he comes
back
back
to the
too,
gym.
because that's to me.
He could
like,
be a huge success story.
and that's I'd rather see people like that in a gym than anybody else. Like,
Yeah.
I've always have. It used to drive me nuts when people would make fun of somebody that was overweight in a gym.
Yeah, what the fuck are they supposed to
like
do?
they should be there more than anybody.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that I just, and again, man, I hope he comes back.
I do
and
too.
I hope I get to meet him. I hope he comes back, and I hope I meet him, because you just said the magic words. It's only been 2 months for me, and everything has changed dramatically in my life. And I think a lot of it is powered by this. I'm motivated. I feel part of a team. I feel part of a group. But more importantly, just waking up and having somebody, oh man, I'm proud of you. You got up and went to the gym at 4 o'clock in the morning. I just feel better. I'm starting to brush a lot of stuff off.
You seem different.
Cheryl and I work together every day, and I'm the one telling her now, we're good, man.
Yeah,
like,
you're a coach. You need to be positive. I'm
we're
like,
good.
what's this bullshit?
I said it today. I'm like, hey, we're good. We're alive. We're getting paid. We're healthy.
Don't
we're
stress.
Like, don't stress. Like, but I think a lot of that is from,
Seth tells me that a lot too.
you know, and Brady said it. Brady says it all the time. You say it in a sense, you know, like, don't put energy into things you can't control.
Right.
And I can control my diet and my workout.
Right.
And I can control getting in my truck and driving down the mountain to the gym every morning, and it has helped me. So if you're out there listening and you're on the fence, man, just go try. Especially if you hear this and you're in Sheridan, come in and work out at this place.
That was
man,
my first week there.
It's remarkable. It was intimidating, but and it wasn't like people immediately hug you and here, put your hand on the circle. Oh, 1, 2, 3, go. People watch you and they want to figure out who you are and make sure you're not a shitbag.
See if
Or
they can beat
I
you.
felt like that. Well, that too, but I think it was more of just like, well, is this person in this to win this? Because you do have to commit and you do have to do it yourself.
Right.
You have to stay in the fight. You have to go to the workout. But once people realize, okay, this guy's going to keep coming here, I think the dynamic is kind of changing. People are helping me. They're coaching me. They're saying hi to me. They're talking to me.
Right.
You're talking back. You were just kind of the little loner in the corner, not
Man,
talking
I was.
to
I don't think I
anybody.
said a word
No
to
eye
anybody for a
contact.
month except for you, because, again, I'm going to be a man and say it. It was rough getting my ass beat by a bunch of women. And it shouldn't be that way. It just shouldn't matter. Someday the Olympics is all going to be one category, and women are getting stronger by the minute. It's going to be a long time. It'll happen at some point. Women are getting faster and stronger, and they just are.
So are men.
Evolution. Men are too, but evolution but man, it's talking about killing your ego. Like when a 120-pound woman smokes your ass at everything in a gym. Mandy's become my white whale, man. Like I watch her. I'm not competing
You
with
and me both.
Mandy, but just watching somebody come in, ride the bike for a few minutes, kind of lollygag around, and then she takes her sweats and her sweat top off and just
Kills it.
Well,
Kills
that's when you don't talk to Mandy until the pre-workout kicks in.
that's it.
No
it's
eye
like
contact.
It's like a kid carrying his blanket down in the morning and don't look at me.
Yeah.
That's exactly what she
And then
does.
she goes and teaches kids all day long. Jordan, I'm not even going to try and guess Jordan's age. You know, she's
older than me.
fit,
She's
fit,
like 43,
fit,
42.
fit.
Or no, she's my age.
Yeah.
She's
Same
43.
thing, and just
Matt's
getting your
41,
ass
by the way.
beat. And again, I'm coming from a background in special operations where there was no women. So for me now to be getting my butt beat, it used to be getting beat by guys that played college ball before they got their green beret,
Right.
or they were a state champion or a college champion wrestler, whatever it is. But that was hard. That first month, I'm like, fuck, why can't I compete? I couldn't even do stuff that I thought I was good at. Pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups. When you
Sit-ups.
throw in a bike ride,
Yeah.
you throw in a row, you throw in wall balls, you throw in this other stuff.
I keep telling you that it changes
Oh,
all of it.
God.
Yeah.
You could be
It's
the best at the row, but you throw in something else with it. It's a game changer.
Yeah. And I'm not, like, I mean, what am I good at? What am I bad at?
You're good at squats.
Let's hear it.
Mm.
Good at squat.
I'm just kidding.
She's good at or he's good at
She's
squats.
good at- I'll be one of the girls.
You're good at squats, deadlifts. You have mobility issues for sure.
That's
which
why
will come.
That's
in your
why I was
wrists
asking. I
and-
want to hear about that's a great segue. I
So-
wanted to hear it from you.
Yeah, it's a mobility, and it's just time not doing the workouts. So once we get your shoulders loosened up, kipping will be easier, snatch will be easier, overhead squats will be easier, the ones that you struggle with. But you are coachable. I mean, that's huge.
I
What
gotta
is
give you
that? What
props.
is somebody who's coachable so that other
If you
people
give them a
out there
cue,
that-
they listen and they actually try to do it. So there's some people that come to the gym that have been coming for 8 years. I give them a cue, meaning I want them to change something in their lift. And I'll give them a cue and they'll go, okay. And then they'll try one, and then I'll walk across the gym and I'll be like, hey, that was pretty good. I'll walk across the gym, and then they go back to their old habits.
Well, in perfect example, I saw the perfect example of that this morning. Matt, you'd have to say Matt's one of the top two
Yeah.
or three fittest guys in the gym, and probably in Wyoming.
For his
when it
age
comes to
group, yeah. I
CrossFit,
think
for
he
his age group.
was
Wasn't he 1 or 2
he was 2. I
And
beat him.
in the
you
open?
constructively, and I say yell is not a bad thing. I come from the Army. You constructively yelled at him
To
this
crash
morning.
through. Oh, yeah.
And the next rep that he did it, and he didn't shrug his shoulders. He didn't roll his eye. He
He
listened to you, and the guy's been doing this how long?
Oh, shoot. Matt's been coming 4 years.
Super impressive.
Yeah.
You know, and he works out sometimes twice a day.
Oh, yeah.
You guy's an animal.
Yeah.
But it was just fun to watch because he didn't, in the heat of the moment, he was smoked. He was on probably his 4th round.
Right.
And
Tyler will coach me
and
every
he literally
now and then too, and it helps a ton.
took that
You
in.
never listen to me though when I coach you, by the way.
You don't ever have good things to say.
Always. Like straighten your legs.
Oh, first, do that.
I'm just
Jesus
kidding.
Christ.
Anyways, go on. Sorry.
What was I gonna say?
Coachable.
Oh, your cardio is kind of shitty.
Which cardio has always been my strong suit until probably the last 3 years of my life.
Oh, really?
Because I stopped doing cardio.
Right.
I used to, I would pound out 10 miles in under 60 minutes. Like I could run.
Right.
And I would do cardio. My lungs were conditioned. Man, I couldn't run a mile right. If you asked me to do 4 laps around that block, I'd be smoked.
Yeah.
Same here.
My lungs would be burning.
I don't like
Man,
running
I'm
either.
horrible.
Clearly.
Like my cardio, a few months ago, I was running up the mountain, up South Piney Trail,
Mhm.
and I was getting, but again, it's perishable.
Right.
You know, a month of not
Oh, yeah.
running sets you back 6 months of
Yeah.
conditioning.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cardio is across the board. My cardio is horrible. I will say the worst fucking thing in that gym for me is that bike. It should be easy.
Remember
for
when
me.
you quit on it the other day?
Yeah, and Seth
I
came
told
up
you
behind
there's
my
two
ear.
kinds of people. There's
He
those
said
that
it to
quit
me.
and those that don't.
Yeah,
I know.
He
I
told
told
me
He
you.
came
too.
up and said it. He said there's 2 types of people in this world.
Athlete or a pussy.
Pussy. Which one are you going to be?
And you
And-
were a big pussy.
It's the Indian proverb that the native proverb you see about the 2 wolves. Which one are you going to feed? Like, man, I wanted to get off that bike so bad.
Yeah.
I was.
Was that Monday?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
my vision was closing in, and I was.
You said you were going to puke.
I
but
felt
I've
like
yet
I was
to
going
see
to
you
puke, and I just kept thinking in my head, I'm going to puke in this fan on this bike,
gonna
and it's going to
spray.
shoot all over the wall. It's COVID season.
That'd be
like,
pretty epic.
We'd
if
have
that
Right?
to
happened.
whitewash the whole gym with sterile suits on. And then I could smell my own vomit, and I was just like, oh. And you guys, again, very politely.
We've all peeked up a little pre-workout. It's
I
fine.
think probably one of your bigger flaws was the first month was patience. Like you wanted to learn how to do everything right away.
Yeah.
Which, like I've said, get better at one little thing every day you come in the gym, and in 6 months you'll be rock solid on a lot
I
of
set
stuff.
a 3-year goal on this. I turn 45 next week,
Oh.
or in 10 days, and I set a 3-year goal on this.
What's the 3-year? What is the goal?
I want to do CrossFit for 3 years and do it like this. Not, I just want to try this for 3 years and see where I'm at in 3 years and chronicle this and
Awesome.
document it. Like I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here. I think a year is not enough, and I think 2 years might be great, but that's my goal.
Yeah.
I would love
It's a
to
good
stick
You'll
with
never
this.
quit if you go do it for 3 years.
Yeah, I think doing it right and learning the lifts right, I think
Yeah.
I could remarkably improve. And I'm not trying to boost my ego here. I'm trying to do the exact opposite. But like you said, I feel that base of strength if I can get my form, and I think this is for anybody.
Right.
If you can get the form down and you can get your economy of motion down, I think this is going to be really fun.
Yeah, it is.
I like this. You watched me do what? 20. How many snatches would that have been? 18 minutes to.
A lot. We don't do math though.
But probably
36, and then another 16 at the end.
Two of those fired absolutely perfectly at that
Right.
weight from me, and I said it to you right afterwards. I was like, man, it when it fired right, it felt like it was 10 pounds, and
Yeah.
it felt so smooth and easy. And then the rest of them felt like
Snatch is an interesting one because you
500
can't,
pounds.
especially as it gets heavy, you can't fake it.
No.
It's either going to be right for your 1 rep max and
Yeah.
you're going to nail it, and it's going to give you false hope of getting another 10 pounds or 5 pounds, or you're just going to fuck it all up. You can't muscle through those heavier lifts with a snatch.
No, and we'll put a video so you guys will see a video of what a snatch is. I didn't know. I don't know what half this stuff is. I didn't know what a wall ball was.
Right. It has
but,
its own lingo.
a snatch is
CrossFit.
picking a bar with weight on it or no weight on it up from the
Wide
floor, wide grip to above your head in one movement. And it's my favorite lift so far. But
Yeah.
I was horrible at it. Like I felt like I was horrible. Like you said,
Yeah.
I felt like it weighed 500 pounds and it was 145 pounds, which.
And the trouble with one thing with snatches, some days, or cleans even, really, depending on what came before it in the week, sometimes it feels smooth and it's like an elegant lift. Like it's just, you feel powerful. And then other days you feel like a mechanical just robot as it's going up and over your head.
Can't get as heavy.
Yeah, you can't get as heavy. You know it's not going to happen. Your shoulders are tight, whatever it may be. Just get through those workouts.
Yeah.
Just put your head down, get what you get, and don't stress that 2 weeks ago you hit X amount of weight and you want to try and hit that again. And it's like every
Might
day's
not
different.
happen.
So your legs might be a little tired, your hamstrings might be tight, something might be going on that's affecting the lift, and it's easy to let that get in your head. Like, God, I lifted this much last week. Why can't I do it this week?
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Well, and I got to erase my slate, but take the Etch-a-Sketch and shake it out because, again, like deadlifts, it was the first time we did actual traditional deadlifts in a workout.
Yeah,
and,
where we were breathing hard.
I used to, for my weight, because I had low center of gravity and I was a lot bigger and stronger, I would pull quite a bit of weight on deadlift.
What's your 1 rep you've ever hit?
500.
Nice.
And, I probably could have gone heavier at the time, but I was also, that's all I did. That's all I did was work out.
Right.
And it was I focused on 3 lifts: bench, squat, deadlift, and I was trying to go for 1,000 pounds on those 3 lifts, which I got. But my quality of life was fucking horrible. When you talk about sore, it was the wrong kind of sore.
Right.
Like I woke up and I couldn't wipe my own ass. Not joking.
Been there.
I was so big. My lats were so big. My arms were so big. Everything was so big. I couldn't wipe my own butt. I had to go back to front. And I'm serious. I know this, but that's just to put in context. That's how big I got. I had
What'd you weigh?
To tie
Do you have pictures?
228. Yeah, I do.
Does your mom?
228 pounds at 5'8" is
That's a lot.
It's a lot of weight for me. But like reaching down to put my boots on or tie my shoes was not comfortable.
Right.
Like it's just not fun. Like nothing was fun. Everything, it was just a pain in the ass. And I know that's graphic now that I think about talking about wiping my butt, but I couldn't wipe my own ass like, traditionally. And it's whatever it was. Things got harder. Just getting out of bed, like rolling. I had to like roll out of bed, back and forth to get out of bed. And it was just, I was sore. My knees were sore. The wrong kind of sore.
Right.
Now when I wake up, it's like this clean sore. I tried to explain it to Sheryl, which she knows it, but a clean sore. Like I felt like I had a good day of work.
I would say 3 years ago when Wasim was here full time, I was squatting with Wasim, and Wasim's
He's a big dude.
He's a big dude and meathead's a good way to put him, but extremely strong and pushed me and got me strong.
Oh, we should ask him to be on.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. But he would have me do lots of heavy, high rep stuff when I would do my second workout. So normally I go back to the gym at 11 after I work out at 8, coach the 9, go home, do my chores at the house, and then go and we would squat 2-3 days a week probably, and heavy deadlifts. I was so tore up all the time.
Yeah.
Like my knees hurt. I couldn't run. There was a summer where I didn't run the whole summer because my knees hurt too bad.
I was like a water buffalo, man.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't run it. I was like a hippo. Like I couldn't run. I could run 40 meters super fast.
Right.
After that, dead. I could move just fast enough across my house so I had to protect myself or get in a fight or get out of an emergency. Outside of that,
That was it.
man, it killed me.
Yeah.
I feel like that right now, though. Again, if you ask us to run around that building 4 times,
We need to
We
run
will.
next week.
I'd be smoked. Like I'd be smoked, especially in 20-degree weather.
Yeah.
Like I'd be hurting.
That cold weather.
Yeah.
But now it's like I can squat as much as I did before because I'm smarter with it. I'm smarter with the programming. I'm smarter with my second workout is usually riding that stupid eco bike, and I'll bike 10 to today I bike 20 total miles.
How long does that take you?
Oh,
It's
I
all-
don't go fast, so I'm only going 18 miles to 20 miles an hour usually. So it's not a fast pace. My warm up is always 5 miles, and then at 11 I'll bike at least another 5 usually. But my body feels so much better. I'm as strong as I was, and I haven't gotten any stronger, but I'm 43. How much stronger are you going to get when you want to be fast and have your cardio and do everything? I'm not going to change that much. So like my goal with fitness right now is to have a little bit of victories, whether it's strength or cardio or whatever it may be, but to pretty much stay in this same realm I'm at right now.
Well, in that
So-
realm, correct me if I'm wrong, just by watching the board in the 2 months that I've been there, I would say pound for pound, you're probably the best athlete in the gym that you own. Which to me, I've been at gyms where you see people that own it and you're like, holy shit, are you comfortable walking around looking like that
Right.
when you own a gym?
Right.
I'm not I guess I am judging, but
Yeah.
it's pretty cool to come to a gym and have the guy that owns the gym and the coaches
We all do the same thing too.
at the top of the board, whether it's
Right.
Corey, whether it's you, whether it's Sheryl, Mandy,
Yeah.
the other coaches there.
I love having workouts where like eventually you'll have like your strength. You'll walk in and go, ooh, I'm going to like this
Today's the
workout.
day.
And I'm going to chase you on that day.
Yeah.
Or like we have some guys that are really good at rowing or really good at machines. And I love it when guys show up on those days because it's like, I got somebody I can chase.
We've only
Especially
had
when
They're
you
going
row.
to set the bar.
You guys have only had one day like that since I've been there, and it was squat day.
Which
Squat
one?
cleans?
No, it was the day that you had to do front squat and back, and I did. That's the best day I've had as far as the board, as far as numbers, as far as my place in the.
Oh, was
hierarchy.
that the overhead squat,
Cash.
back, front squat, back squat?
Yep.
Oh, that
Yep.
day.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was fun, but
So-
all the rest of them, I walk in and I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna be miserable.
We
with
need a
this.
bench press day for that
We did bench press.
last week.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which was good.
I was out.
But yeah, I just the positivity side of it. I suck, but I'm positive, and my life has changed. That's why I wanted to have you guys back on, is one to critique me, hold me accountable. People are watching this, and even if it's 2 people watching it, going, "Shit, is this guy gonna quit?" Because I've quit a lot of stuff in my life at certain
Like
points.
the bike.
Yeah, or more important things like jobs or other stuff. Like this to me is, it's one of those things like I'm not quitting. I've determined that, and that's in part by the community and the actual gym itself and the people
Yeah.
that go there. But more importantly, I said it on my post 2 days ago. I'm at war with myself and no one else for the first time, and I'm winning. Like that's
cool.
That's it.
Yeah.
To me, that sums up this entire process. And you called me after the last episode.
Oh yeah.
I was driving home from work, and you called me and said, hey, there's a few times when we were on the episode where you were just staring off into space, or I'm just asking bro to bro, are you okay? You seem like I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
I was processing it, but I was starting to think of, fuck, this is going to suck. I just committed to, no, I'm being serious.
Right.
Like, we were talking and Brady called me out, and after that I'm just sitting there going, fuck.
I'm going to be honest.
gotta
I
be
didn't
down.
think you would do it.
I know you
honestly
didn't.
I didn't either.
I know you didn't. I didn't know you didn't because you and I don't interact that much. At the time we had interacted that much, but
Right.
I know you knew.
This is the longest I've seen you like stick with something since
Yeah.
I've known you in over a year.
But my life has also been. I've never had more
Yeah.
chaos in my life ever.
Did that start about the time Sheryl got hired?
Yeah.
It did actually. I think Cheryl's the root cause of everything in my life that hasn't gone the way I wanted
Everything
it to.
bad. Life was perfect.
Went to shit when I
I'll
met
be
Sheryl.
honest with you guys too. I didn't think I would do it either, and
Yeah.
that scared the shit out of me.
We talked about it like when we left here, went over to the gym and I asked him, I'm like, do you think he's real? And we were both kind of on the fence. In my heart,
no,
I
I'm,
thought
I'm
no.
not quitting. Like I'm in this for the long haul. Like it's.
So I'll make a deal with you. 3 years now. We're extending it. And if you quit, you still have to pay me.
Oh, yeah.
I will take
it.
that deal. That's a lot of money.
You better shake on that shit. Carrick, you got witnesses?
That's a lot of money.
and me.
That's a lot of money.
And me. No.
So 3 years from this day, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, that is. That'd be a few grand.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a lot of cash.
Yeah.
I'm in, man. I just,
Good.
I got to get better. And more importantly, hopefully we can use this vessel and some other ones to get some people. Like I keep telling Cheryl, I know you guys do some competitions and Average Joe and stuff, but, get something. The next step for me, Cheryl's called me out on it. Derek, my buddy, I'm not going to mention Derek's last name and highlight him because that's not.
But I can't wait for
we
him
don't
to
have that
come.
relationship, but have him come out and he sent Sheryl and I a video. We were chatting with him back and forth, doing stuff in the shop the other morning. He said, well, I'll sign you. If you don't sign up for the Open, I'm going to sign you up. And Derek's a big CrossFitter, but what is the Open? I know what it is, but explain it because I'm going to do this. I'm going to be horrible. I'll probably be the last fucking place in the region.
You're in the Masters, the really old one. You'll be fine.
You're in the age group.
I'm not in the
I know, that's what I
really
told him,
old
like-
next year.
Masters.
You're in the Masters. CrossFit starts the Masters at 35.
So let's just
So
put it,
I'm in
So
Masters.
let's just put it this way. You just said I'm in the old group. I know for a fact that Matt and
We'll be
Seth-
one below you this time.
So you might win something.
And then next year,
Right.
it goes 5-year increments. That's
Gotcha.
how they've done
Okay.
it. So it'll go 45 to 49.
Yep.
And then 50 to 54
Okay.
and whatnot. And then it's 65 and up.
And the Open, for those that don't know what that is.
So CrossFit for 5 weeks. It starts in February. For 5 weeks, every week on, is it Wednesday night or Thursday night?
Thursday night at
Thursday night, they post a workout, which will be the standard. There will be standard of movement, so everybody has a judge when you do it. The judges that are within the class or within the gym take a judge's course that you have to take in order to judge someone for the Open. They'll post a workout every Thursday for 5 weeks. Normally they don't repeat any movements during the workout. It ranges from a strength workout all the way to maybe a 20-minute, 25-minute more cardio workout, and you get a score. So most of the time it's an AMRAP, as many rounds as possible. So you might have 3 movements. You might have 6 bar muscle ups, maybe 20 wall balls and 20 calorie row. And you're going to do that for 20 minutes.
As many times as you can.
As many times as you can. So you get a point for every calorie, every wall ball, and every muscle up that you do. And then at the end, if you get 10 rounds, you would have 460 reps or whatever I said, 6 muscle ups. But anyway,
math.
you might have a score of 460. So then you're ranked against everyone else in the world. And then
you have to submit that online.
yeah, you submit
before
it,
Monday.
and then I go in and validate it and say it's okay. So
you submit it by gym.
through your gym onto
your
the
own
CrossFit
account.
Games
Okay.
page. So you'll have your own account that you'll set up. Now, over that course of 5 weeks, you get ranked against. You could break it down where it's just Wyoming. You could break it down to United States, worldwide. You could say 45-year-old men. You could just break it down however you want.
Right.
They'll allow you to do that. But then for the age groupers, so the 35 to 39 on up 5-year increments, if you qualify in the top 200, then you get another online one weekend, and it's normally 4 to 5 workouts. So the top 200 in the world have to video their workouts and submit those videos. If you make the top 40, you have to submit your videos, but you have to have a video available if they ask for it. So I did it 3 years ago, because when I was 40, I made it to the top 200 and finished 41st after the second portion, 41st in the world out of 18,000. And then last year, was it last year Chance made it?
Yeah.
Chance made it for his age group in the teens, and he finished like 193rd, so he barely made the cutoff, but I think he finished like after that next 4 workouts, he was 176. So our only goal with him was you got to prove that you were supposed to be here. So if you went in 193rd and you come out 192nd, you prove that you should be there.
Right.
So you do that, and then if you make the top, now I think last time they only took the top 10. They used to take the top 20 age groupers in each age group, male and female. But now they've broke it down to the top 10, which that's a whole nother level of human. I am not in that realm for that group. But yeah, it's the open is, some people get super stressed about it. You talked about
Some
the
people cry.
butterflies.
You cry, baby?
A lot. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Almost every year.
What else does she cry about? Come on.
Shut up.
So,
anyways.
but yeah, the open it's a lot of fun. It's a good atmosphere in the gym. People come in. Parents have come in and watched.
That's
Grandparents have come in and watched.
And this is in February every year?
February, and it's 5 weeks long.
I was going to go back when you were talking about the anxiety and the nerves and everything. I judge him pretty much every workout for the last 2 years before the open, and he'll be walking around like,
I can't talk to anybody.
he plays his music just to get his head right.
Take a couple shits before we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the nervous shits, yeah. But he'll just be walking around, and you could.
I get really nervous
Okay,
for the,
yep.
especially 2 and 3 years ago, because I had a shot, like, to make the top 20. So
And you can redo these workouts as many times as you want before you submit it.
Within that time period.
Yeah, in a
Thursday to
4-day
Thursday,
period.
So
but it's not always a good idea.
that top 10 you just talked about, those people go to the CrossFit Games.
yeah, so then they didn't do it this year, but in years past, they go to the games, whether it's in Madison, Wisconsin, or California, or wherever they
Wherever
hold
it's
it.
at. Yeah, I went
Yeah.
to the last one they had in Los Angeles, which was so neat to see.
When did you go as a team?
Oh, we went to regionals in 2013,
And then Erica went.
in 2012. So yeah,
you've
we
got
went.
some
They
stats.
used to have like you had to work out at a gym to be on a team. So your gym went, but now you can make a super team. So I could have somebody from Florida be on our team.
You can pick anybody you want.
Yeah,
That's your
which
team.
I think
That's
kind of
kinda
took
crap.
a little away from
Yeah.
the dynamic. It definitely creates better teams, but the community aspect of it. So
get
when
the
we
same-
went, we made the top 30. So you just took your open scores and your 6 athletes that were going. And was it 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 athletes that go, and our top 3 men and 3 women scores, if we scored high enough, I think we were 27th in our region going into it. And we were 27th in our region, and that's Wyoming. That was Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Oregon, Washington, and Alaska. And we got to go to Seattle and compete.
Cool.
And it was a huge event, and we finished 21st or 22nd. So we went in and proved
Pretty
we were supposed to
positive
be
event.
there.
People are friendly.
Oh,
positive.
super positive,
Love
super
it.
positive. But definitely showed us that we're not top dogs. There is some tough athletes. Like one of the workouts was a hang squat snatch, 1 rep max. And each person on your team, you just took turns going up and hitting it. And we're in the back warming up, and we weren't very good. Strength is not our gym's power. That's not. We have really good endurance, heavier, moderately heavy loads for higher reps. We do okay on that. But when we were there, we were in the back snatching and warming up for this event, and we were in the first heat because we were the 21 to 30. And I hit 195. Tyler hit 195. Andrew, another guy, hit 185 or something like that. We're all like, oh yeah, we're ready. we get done, go out, we do our lifts, we come back in. Tyler hits 205, never hit it before in his life, and just sticks it out on the floor. It was awesome. And then we go in the back, and we're kind of pumped because, we thought we did all right. And there's a guy that hang squat snatched on another team, 265. And we were like,
oh, jeez.
Just going to go over here and sulk in the corner. But, it just showed us that just the level of human is in CrossFit. There's always somebody better.
I went watching just on YouTube, watching the CrossFit Games, the snatches. I just kept typing that in and hitting that video.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy. Like, it's just the weight that those guys move. And
yeah.
When I was at the games,
I think Wasim snatched 295 once.
Matt Frazier, he had won his first one, and this was his second one. But I watched him and I kept watching him because he just kind of got on the leaderboard and stayed there. Mm-hmm. And this was at the games.
Right.
Watching him, and at one point he went over and there was coolers lining the outside of the stadium, and he walked over there, lifted, did a couple rope climbs, did some other crazy stuff, and then just walked over and put his entire arms and shoulders in
the cooler
and stayed there for like 5 minutes and got out, stretched a little bit, and then went back to do another workout and killed everybody. And it was just like, man, this is weird. Like, this is a whole nother, like you said, weird in a good way.
Right.
But just a whole nother level. For me, it was just a whole nother level of watching the human body and physiology. Like, it was just weird.
So with him, he's a whole nother level of human. Like, mentally and physically.
Yeah.
But his very first year at the CrossFit Games, he got second. And he was talking about it, and he's won it 5 times now. So he's been on the podium 6 years in a row. And he went and said that most people would be like, yeah, I got second at the CrossFit Games. I got this silver medal. He's got it in like a shadow box on his wall. And he goes, I hate that fucking medal. He goes, that medal represents every break I took when I didn't need it, every bad meal I ate that I shouldn't have, every rest day that I took when I didn't need it. It represents everything that I did wrong to get second place. I was like, I'd be pretty proud of a second place draw.
Yeah, CrossFit Games.
But that's just how he's wired. It's insane. It's very impressive to see people that are that driven on anything. I think at my age I can't be that driven because I would just hurt myself if I did 3 workouts a day.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring that up on this. One of the issues I'm having for the first time in my entire life is coming to terms with gravity and time.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. Like, this is the first time in my life that I've gone, you're not going to be there. Like, you're not going to compete with certain people.
Yeah.
And you have to compete with yourself. And I keep saying that I'm in a battle with myself. When, after the first month, I was looking at the board and I would see you guys and go, man, I got to catch that. Just for my own personal motivation.
Right.
And then it's like, I'm coming to terms with, there's people I'm not going to catch.
Yeah.
But
there are people you
I'm
can
not 35
catch.
in special forces anymore.
Right.
And I'm not going to catch these guys.
Yeah.
But there's more importantly for me, like, if I that's my goal, and you got to hold me to it, but I want to do a not clean, but I want to do a very clean snatch at 2 1/4. Like, that's, I watched those guys. I saw how tall they are. I saw their body composure. I saw everything about them, and I'm not going to make 275 or 300 or, but 225. That's my goal.
Yeah. I think that's doable. And if we can get your squat snatch into a,
Mobility.
It's a mobility. I got it, and that's the other one. I heard girls talking this morning about yoga, or it was yesterday maybe, but yoga. Like, just stretching and mobility. And
I should probably try it.
For me, I got to stretch, and it's becoming to the point now where the worst part of my workout is some of the stretching. Like,
you got there and warmed up, like I've been telling you. Since
I know. I need to get there and get my muscles going, but like hurdle stretch,
like get on the fucking bike.
Some of the simple stretches are I don't have good mobility. And I need to get
it'll come,
but
a little at a time. But that's tough to swallow as we get older too. I definitely have a problem with it because I love competing.
Yes,
I love going in every day and saying, okay, Matt got this, Tyler got this. And especially if I'm at a competition and it's a young guy, I love competing against the younger guys. And I don't know, I mean, I get beat when we go to competitions, but there is times where I'm very competitive with the younger guys, and that's what I want. I want to compete. And I think that's another thing. If you played any type of sports growing up, it is cool to continue to compete every day. I walk in every day and I am worried what somebody else is going to get.
I do too, but this is a positive one. It's not. It used to be insecurity for me. Mm-hmm. You know, I had to try to be the best to look good. Yeah, which I think is an insecure. Now it's fun, and like this morning's the perfect example. You know, even now, if I walked across the street, Sheryl and Mandy hit I think they were a few seconds over 8 minutes. My time was 10:50.
Yeah.
Ask Seth what his was.
What was your time?
7:54.
which is absolutely insane to me. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not getting there maybe ever.
Or you will.
But it's not going to happen for a long time, and that's where time and gravity. This is not something that I can do in a month.
Right.
I know now, after watching some of these workouts, when they come back around, it's going to be a year before I'm good at them. If I keep on, but that's insane to me. Like 10:50, and I was gassed and smoked, and you guys saw me.
But
I wasn't.
You weren't.
I know in my head I wasn't. I had more. I didn't die. Yeah. But I felt like I did everything right this morning. I hit all my reps clean. You know, a couple times you came up to me on the first round of my pull-ups because I was trying to do strict pull-ups, and you said, hey, you're not going all the way down. Yeah. Go all the way down, extend in the next round. I switched subconsciously for the first time, switched to a kipping pull-up because that's all I could do. But man, it's just crazy to me. Like 8 minutes, mine was 10:50, and again, I'm going to sound like a sexist. In my head, though, I got beat by 2.5 minutes by two women that I outweigh. I have more muscle mass than they do. I outweigh them by 75 pounds, 60 pounds, whatever it is, and they just smoked my ass. So it doesn't get better than this. It's fun.
When people beat you, it pisses me off when I get beat.
Oh, it's starting to piss me off.
It really bugs me. But now I look at it as, you know what, it shows that the programming and the process is working. You know, when certain people beat me in the gym, I hate it. Yeah. But when Tyler first started, I remember we were going to do Fran, which is a kind of similar to the workout we did today, but it's 21-15-9 of thrusters and pull-ups, 95 pounds. Terrible. It's terrible. But I remember Tyler made a comment to some other people in the gym that he's going to beat me today, beat Seth. Ooh. And I was like, and at the time, he was butterfly pull-ups, and I was a holdout and still kipping, but I would do like a fast little kip.
He's like 6 years younger than you or something?
Yeah, he's 6 years younger than me. And at that time, Tyler and I were friends, but we weren't good friends. And he wasn't a coach yet, and it pissed me off, so I went, and I ended up beating him that day. But then as Tyler started to beat me, I used to not have a clock on the wall. Yeah. I couldn't afford one when we first started. And I remember we were doing a workout, and it was finishing with wall balls. And we ran AMRAPs most of the time. And then after that, I would, we only did AMRAPs because we didn't have a clock for people to look at and say, oh, my time was 12:50 or whatever. Right. So Tyler was doing his last set of wall balls. And I remember I didn't say out loud how much time was left because I wanted him to set the ball down. And I knew if I said 15 seconds left, he wouldn't set that fucking ball down. And I did it, and I didn't say shit. And that bugged me so bad that I was being that petty. Yeah. You know? And, like, my wife had to kind of line me out and be like, it's a credit to the gym if people start beating you. You can't win every workout.
No, but it's also a credit to the gym, like I brought it up earlier. You walk the walk, you talk the talk, you walk the walk.
Yeah, but it was hard. That was a huge learning curve for me to be like, you know what? It's good that people are getting more fit. This is what the idea of the gym is.
It's great.
Being a fucking douchebag, which is what I was being. Yeah. And then shortly after that, we got a clock, and then I couldn't do it. But then I think there was another workout where Tyler was close, And I just went over and started yelling at him to keep going. And that was a turning point. It was like, okay.
Motivating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to be that asshole anymore. I'll be an
That's
asshole
fun.
other ways, but not that way.
I hear it every day now when I'm there, the 4 days a week. I hear somebody, when I'm sucking.
Get on the fucking bar, pick up the ball.
My deal is, leaning over, catching my breath, getting in that position.
Yep.
And the minute my hands touch my knees, somebody in that gym, I hear, it doesn't matter. Today it was Sheryl. It's been you. Somebody goes, come on, Bert. Like, I mean, it's so constructive.
Right.
And I love it. I could talk about this for 6 hours because it's everything that's right. I use that term a lot when I find stuff that's good, but it's everything that's right with this country and with all the shit going on in the world, both my personal life and just the crazy world. This is great. And I highly recommend this to anybody. Like you said, you're going to go somewhere and find gyms with a bunch of douchebags that are backstabbers or people that are there to get laid or to do whatever. And it's a weird environment, sure. But I think overall, from what I'm seeing, I made the post and it's all positive. And for every comment that's on there, there's a message from somebody who doesn't want to comment. That's like, dude, I started it 4 years ago. I just started. I'm in the same position, man. Like, I literally got dozens and dozens of messages and comments that were just every single one of them was positive. It's just neat. It's everything that's right now. I think, we'll keep this updated. I will commit. We shook hands. Like, I'm gonna put 3 years on this. So, we'll just call it my 48th birthday. Like, that's
We're
my
going to
goal.
give him a horrible one on his 48th.
When's your birthday?
December 1st. So I'm here coming up in a few weeks.
I only do decades. I do workouts for people on their birthdays.
If he makes it 3 years, I think we should
if you make it
kill
3,
him off a little bit.
I'll do something. But
Yeah, and that's, I've got some personal goals. One of them is what I just said. I can already feel it. The other one is muscle ups, and I'd never seen anybody do that in person.
I bet right now you could do a bar muscle up if we get your swing and your kick.
I practiced a little bit and kind of got,
It's all technique on that one.
But again, then something else like Matt today doing ring muscle ups.
Yeah.
It was just fun to watch, and the dynamic and Matt is a fit guy who's probably, I guess he's hovering around 10 or less body fat. He's lean, he's strong.
Yeah,
but
he's disciplined with his diet.
Using
too.
everything. That's my next step.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go crazy with it because I like food.
I can't commit. I tried.
But that's my next step is just cleaning it up. I'm going to go back to, I used to do it when I was a lot leaner and more fit. Saturday is going to be my cheat day. If I want to eat McDonald's 7 times on Saturday, I'm going to. It's going to be a 24-hour period to eat nachos and a whole thing of sour cream and McDonald's and candy and cake and cookies. But after that, that's my next step.
Have you got COVID yet? You haven't had COVID
no.
yet.
That's the last thing. I know this thing is going pretty long, but that's the next thing I wanted to ask you because you brought it up. I wasn't going to bring it up. But you're a gym owner. You work out 6 days a week, most of the time, maybe 7 with some light conditioning. And you got COVID, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago?
Over 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. So I got it on Halloween.
Saturday.
Was it Halloween?
And you were firing on all cylinders. Like, you're pretty fit right now.
Yeah.
Really fit right now. Yeah, before you got it.
I'd say my lungs are. Yeah, I was just saying that I felt really good. Strength, cardio, everything was good, and it kicked my ass.
So, I think everybody understands what COVID is now and what the symptoms are, and this. Let's talk about coming off COVID and going back into what do you recommend for people? Because I heard you say you came down every morning and said, today's the day, I'm going to get better today, and you were worse and worse and worse and worse.
I had 11 days of fever, 11 days of bad night sweats, like soak a shirt like you jumped in a lake, abdominal pain, diarrhea, vomiting, you name it. I had every freaking symptom, no scent, no smell. And it was just a roller coaster. You think you start to feel good, and then I'd be sitting watching TV, and my shoulders would start to hurt, and my fever would be back at 100.3. And when I came back to the gym, actually, I went to the ER, which I don't go to the emergency room. Being a paramedic for 12 years, I feel like a lot of people abuse that. And I had abdominal pain that just folded me up in the kitchen. And like I had, in a 15-minute time period, it hit probably 3 or 4 times. And I was like, I was sure something was wrong. So anyway, I went to the ER. They did a abdominal CT scan. Couldn't see anything. They just blamed it on COVID. Gave me some Toradol. They tried morphine, and that actually made the pain intensify. I don't know if it's because it's a vasodilator or what.
Right.
But man, as soon as she gave it, I was violently dry heaving and curled up in a ball like a little bitch. Just terrible pain. And the Toradol helped, and then they gave me some pain meds. 24 hours later, I was okay. So long story short, 11 days of feeling horrible. I was one of those people with COVID that was like, won't be bad. I'm a one of the fitter 43-year-old guys, and I'll have a fever, I'll be fine. I don't believe that anymore. I think it depends on, I don't know if they've figured it out, but whether it's a blood type or a gene or something that you may or may not have.
Affects everybody differently.
And evidently I don't have the right genes to get through that without it kicking my ass. So anyway, I had about 5 days where I felt good, but I still didn't do a lot. And then I came back to the gym on Monday, and Monday was the bike and the total bar and deadlift.
Yeah.
And my strength felt okay with the deadlifts. It wasn't heavy, but my lungs burned so bad after that workout, and the second half of that workout. The fatigue is terrible. Like, I worked a 13-hour day the other day between the gym and printing shirts.
Yeah.
And then my wife is more sick this week, or she was earlier in the week. It went to her lungs really bad. So I went home and was making dinner on top of that. And by 7 o'clock that night, I was absolutely wiped out. And those long days aren't uncommon for me most of the time.
Right.
But man, it absolutely kicked my ass. So I would say if someone's coming off of COVID and you want to try and get back into it, go 50% at the gym, which I told Sheryl I was going to do, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And I paid for it.
Take a round off. Take some reps off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's hard to do.
take it easy as you get back into it and ease back into it, because, man, it does a number. But when they did the abdominal CT, the doctor said I had damage to my lungs. He couldn't really explain what it was, and his explanation was, "Oh, they look COVID-y." I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? So yeah, I don't know what that means, but whether it's my alveoli weren't opening or what, but it's definitely going to be a little bit before my cardio is 100% again. I'd say I'm 80-90% right now.
Yeah, and it's been impressive because, again, I'm on social media. Someday I won't be on my personal social media. That's another goal that I have. It's not any other reason than it just takes it. I don't need it. Like,
right.
I don't need to. I want to see what the people in my life every day that I touch are doing, but just the chaos with it. And it was just awesome to see you came back. The mandate came down, which was statewide and countywide for sure. Hey, if you can go to a gym, because, I believe they're doing it smartly. Instead of saying, hey, your gym's closed down, hey, if you're not actively working out or doing a lift or movement or cardio, you have your mask on. And I haven't heard anybody, like, everybody comes into the gym, they've got their mask on for stretching, for talking.
Right.
The minute they're done with their workout, it's back on. I haven't heard anybody bitch, which is cool.
Yeah. For the most part, people have been great with it. And honestly, I texted Ian Hunter, the county, I don't even know what his official title is, but he's the doctor that made the call.
Right.
And he's about our age. And I just was like, dude, good call on the mask.
Yeah, great call.
Especially, and before, if I hadn't been sick yet, I don't know that I would have had the same opinion on it. But right now, I'm like, you know what? Here's how I look at it. I've said it to a few people. I got super sick. And, beforehand, I was making the comment and the argument of it's diabetics, it's obese, it's old people, it's smokers, it's immune compromised like my wife. Those are the people that have to worry about it. And I don't want to put a mask on. And granted, you can always find literature that's going to agree with you, whether it's, yes, the mask works or the mask doesn't work. But if there is a chance that the mask might help, because if I go and I'm too stubborn to put on a mask, and I might piss people off with this, but I'm too stubborn to put on a mask because I don't think it works with my high school education. You know, that's kind of where we're at with a lot of these anti-mask people is I'm going to put the mask on for the chance that it might keep someone else from getting sick.
That's where I'm at too. It's not so much for me.
Right, exactly.
But it's for somebody else.
With those obese and diabetics, elderly, so yeah, they died of COVID. That sucks. But if I wouldn't have worn the mask and I got one of those people sick, they might have had another year, another 10 years with their loved ones.
Right.
And me being selfish and not putting a fucking piece of cloth on my face.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason I came up with, but that person lost a year to 10 years with their family that they would have lived unhealthily.
Yeah.
Whatever, but that's their choice. That's, to me, is more impactful than saying, oh, fuck it. They're obese. That's a fat person. They can die anyway. Fuck you, man.
Yeah.
That's such a selfish attitude.
And that's not our country. You know, that's other countries don't mind, you know, certain aged people or genders. Like they try and control those numbers. But yeah. And for me, the argument's pretty simple for me. I don't want to go get food at a restaurant and have somebody that's got poop on their hands. Like that's why you have to wash your hands if you're in the food service industry.
Right. Yeah.
Is that, and people say that's not the same. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
I don't want, I'm infringing, so to speak, on that person's rights by saying you have to wash your hands, but I don't want poop in my food, man. Yeah. I just don't. I don't want somebody, you know, taking garbage out, or I just don't. And I don't think it's much different. Right. I really don't. I don't think it's much different. We're not talking about a helmet law on a motorcycle. Like it's different. This is public health. I don't mind. I just think it's stand up that Sheridan did it the way they did, and I love that the gym that, man, nobody's bitched. Like nobody has said a word about it. They just come in and do it. So it's pretty neat. Except Sheryl. I don't want to wear this stupid mask. I know she's had it. I'm just kidding.
And I get the argument of it's infringing on our rights, and you know, you feel what are they going to take away next? What are they going to take away next? Yeah. I understand that argument too, but maybe if we wear the mask, that's all they're going to require.
And that's it. If everybody just complies a little bit, it's like, man.
If they see, especially with holidays coming up, I'm going to go see my family at Christmas. We're going to have people at our house. Yeah. You know, it's going to happen. And if wearing a mask in public to Walmart or Ridley's or wherever helps, fuck it. Do it.
Well, and I go into Walmart and Albertsons, and you hit the nail on the head. When I see a 90-year-old rancher wearing a mask that's been through a world war and 18 other things in the last 75 years, like, man, I can put a mask on.
Yeah.
Like to walk into Albertsons for 11 minutes to get my food and walk out, it's not that big of a deal. I know we got sidetracked from fitness, but I just wanted to point that out, that it's, that it's cool that gyms aren't closed, because they very could have well done the same thing and screwed us all again. Hey, gyms are closed.
Gyms are going to help those people. That argument also, with back to COVID, with saying, oh, well, those people brought that on themselves. They ate McDonald's 5 days a week. Well, we can't fix that today.
No.
You're not going to fix someone's obesity today. So to say I'm not wearing a mask because it's just those people, the diabetics and, the smokers and that, well, education can help those people to get them healthy, get them in the gym, make a life change for them. And that's going to take years. But putting on a mask is something that takes seconds. It's not, we're not going to fix that other problem. We can bitch about it, but when you bitch without a solution, then it's just bitching.
Right.
You have to have a solution with you. So that's what drives me nuts, is when people complain, but they don't have an answer to how to handle it. I ain't wearing a damn mask. The government can't tell them what to do. The other one is like, this is just a prep. They're prepping us for World War III, or they're going to, this or that. Facial recognition. That was the one I saw too.
It's not a big deal.
They've mastered facial recognition. Now they're doing it with facial recognition with a mask. And I was like, well, that's digging. That's pretty deep.
Well, it's good to have you guys on. We need to do this regularly, just to talk about this, and I want to anyway, because I want to be held accountable.
Yeah, we need to get some of the other trainers on and stuff.
We do, and we need some of the people that are in the class that I'm in. I would love to have in, and have them again give a fair assessment. I would also like to have again some of it's fun to me, people that have, I don't know how to word it right, but when like the class that I'm in lately has been 4 or 5 teachers and some nurses, and it's just cool to me, that they start their day at 5 o'clock in the morning knowing they're going to have a 12 to 14 hour day of just.
And the teachers, they're asking a lot of those teachers right now.
They really are. Listen, and I just sit and listen, and they've got 6 hours of Zoom classes and school and 8 other things. It's just cool. I'd love to have some of those people on too.
I think it'd be good if you got like 3 female trainers or something to come in. I think that would be good.
Cool.
Yeah,
it'd be a lot of cool. It'd be fun. And then, maybe we can get something where we're filming, do a podcast, but also film some stuff at the gym.
Yeah.
Again, Seth, they make some pretty good t-shirts over there. I will, if you want one of these shirts, it says, "Don't California my Wyoming." It's funny for Wyoming people. But if you want one, message me on Instagram. I'll figure out with Seth how we can make that happen. But Seth also has a printing shop, and he prints his own t-shirts with Matt, who's another coach, and Sheryl. They print their own t-shirts at the shop, and they're doing some funny stuff like this, and there's other stuff that's humor that's not just.
There's another one coming. I won't say what it is.
Yeah,
but
don't,
it's gonna
because
be pretty funny.
don't because there's people that listen to my shit. They'll have that on Shopify and for sale in like 15 minutes with a mock-up. Pre-sale.
Yeah.
But if you guys want if you're from Wyoming or like the shirt, let me know and we'll figure out how to get you one.
Yeah.
Through Seth. But thank you guys so much.
You bet.
You're adding my favorite 2 words, add value. You guys have added so much value to my life in the last 2 months, and this is just the beginning, and I can't thank you guys enough. I love it. For the 3 of us up here, Sheryl, Seth, myself, it's a good day to be alive. Don't fuck it up. And as always, tell your dogs we said hi. Have a good day.
Bye.
Sweet.